Okay, so welcome to our Monday session. So before we start, we're just going to give ourselves a little stretch. Yes, I like to do that before. Just be very present to the sensations in your body as you're stretching your arms and even your shoulders. And here, just do any movement that feels good to you, basically. You can move your head as well and neck. And basically just make sure that you're in a comfortable position wherever you are sitting. And then when you're ready, you can close your eyes. And the first thing now, with our eyes closed, is to just become aware and notice the weight of our own bodies where we are sitting. Just getting a sense of our own bodies on this earth. And then moving our attention a little bit further down into our feet and noticing the weight of your feet on the floor. Even pressing your feet onto the floor for a moment to feel that connection. Welcoming a sense of groundedness and connection with the earth. And then we are going to now shift our focus away from our feet and all the way up into our chest. Focusing our attention in the middle of our chest where our heart is. And here we're going to connect with the heart. To do that, if it helps, you can place one of your hands over your heart. Or else you can tune in a little bit more into hearing or feeling the sounds or the sensations of your heart beating in your chest. And then start to imagine or visualize as if your breath is flowing in and out through your heart. A little bit as if your heart had a nose. And here the trick is to stay breathing normally as you breathe the rest of the day through your nose. But it's just imagining as if for a moment now, for this meditation, as if the breath enters your body when you breathe in through your heart and flows out of your body when you breathe out through your heart. And this is just to make sure your focus stays anchored into this area of the heart. And as you do this now, slowly but gently, just start to breathe a little bit deeper and a little bit slower than you usually do. As long as your breath stays comfortable for you, you keep breathing in and out in a steady rhythm, but just extending your in breath a little bit more and extending your out breath a little bit more as well. And this is a breathing technique that is called heart-focused breathing, and it's designed to get our body and brain to feel calmer. So we'll do that for another 2 minutes together in silence. Keep your focus in your heart and keep breathing a little slower and deeper, imagining as if your breath flows in and out through your heart. Now, as you keep breathing slower and deeper, anchored in your heart, you might already start to notice feeling a little bit calmer, your system, your body relaxing a little bit. And we're going to take advantage of this more relaxed and calm state to start our reflections. And first, let's start with reminding ourselves of the direction that we want to have in our life. So reminding ourselves of where we're intending to head in the future. So it can be reminding yourself of the vision for your life, if that's something that is clear for you. If not, it might be some goals that you have a little bit closer into the future, the next project or the next big thing that you want to accomplish or to make manifest in your life. So just remind yourself of the direction you want for the future. Ideally, this is where I'm heading towards. Okay, and once we've done that, now we're going to contemplate what happened last week so that we can compare if we are already on the right track to achieve our goals. So just imagine or pretend that in your mind's eyes you can turn around towards the past and that you could even float above your timeline as if you could look at the last week from above, giving you a bird's eye view on everything that happened last week in your life. And here we're going to contemplate, notice everything that worked really well and also everything that didn't work as well as we wanted to. And this can be in any area of life that is important to you. You choose the areas of life that are important. And you're just reminding yourself what worked well and what didn't. And what worked well means all the things that you would want more of, things that you want to maintain and nurture, expand on. And the things that didn't work well, without judgment, there would be more things that you would rather change or let go of, things that you would want less of in the future. So you're just reminiscing and noticing. And while you're doing that, yes, consider outcomes and results. Sometimes we accomplish things, the results are working well or not, but just notice if the journey or the process that led you to the results, if that process was also a process of flow and joy or not. My point here is that sometimes even though the results were not here or didn't work out, sometimes the process and the journey was still very much enjoyable, nurturing, rich. So just notice those differences as well. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater if you didn't get the results you wanted, but the journey was still a beneficial one. So I'm going to stay silent for another 2 minutes so we can keep contemplating, and I'll let you know when we're ready to keep going. Okay, about another minute contemplating last week. Okay, and we're going now to finish this part of our contemplation by asking ourselves this one question. If last week, or a version of last week, was to repeat itself over and over into the future, would it bring us closer to our goals, to our vision? Or does it look like it might be missing the mark? So here is just about getting a sense of the trajectory that we're already on. So if nothing changes, if one week repeats into the next with the exact same energy, does it look like it's aligned already and it's drawing a trajectory that is pointing at our goals, or is it pointing somewhere else? And it might be pointing somewhere else that's also exciting, but they might not be the goals that we want. They might be pointing somewhere that's not exciting at all. And in that case, like, we definitely want to course correct. So here, try not to judge yourself. Stay neutral. Just welcome this information as feedback, useful feedback. Because now we're going to work on aligning, realigning. So that's the second part of our meditation, and that's the fun part. So I'm going to invite you now to actually literally invite your imagination to come and play. And now we're going to imagine a scenario for this week that is starting today, the best possible scenario. Like when everything works well, for the best, the journeys, the processes, the outcomes, the results, everything seems to be working wonderfully well. And for this imaginative part, I always suggest that we start by imagining ourselves first. So imagine yourself at your best. At your best, meaning you're full of energy, you're feeling great, you're positive, calm, resolute, motivated, creative. So you, your own best self, so to speak, when you're at your best, just imagine yourself in that state, and from there, imagine everything that you're creating, that you're generating, that you're making happen when you're in such a state. So start with that. What does the week look like, sounds like, and feels like when you're at your best? What are you doing? What decisions are you taking? What actions are you putting in place? You're making decisions with ease, you're taking action with excitement. Just notice what happens when you're like this in such a scenario. What does the week look like? What would have happened at the end of the week if it was just you? what would you have done? What would you have created? And as you're imagining yourself being in such a generous flow of creation, of course, you'll notice that you're not on your own. There's people around always. So allow your imagination to include also the impact or the influence that you, in this flow of productivity and creativity, how you are impacting people around you, how your flow is becoming contagious and influencing the people you live with, the people you work with, even strangers you're meeting in the street, in the shops. Allow yourself to just imagine what it looks like, conversations you might end up having, smiles that you might end up be the source of on other people's faces. Problems you might end up sorting out for people who need it. And as you imagine all of those things happening, just notice that it's a little bit like a ripple effect, a snowball effect of you in the flow, and your flow is influencing people around you. You might want to even imagine what happens for those people and how in turn they're also impacting, influencing people around them. And just have a sense of how far this ripple is going. First, it's around the people you know, but soon it's contagious and it's going through layers and layers of people that you don't know. And it's growing in the community, in the world, in ways that you cannot even possibly keep track of. All of this coming from you and this positive flow of energy that you've created originally for yourself, within yourself, but a flow that grows and spreads among others. And so now I'm going to invite you to imagine all the benefits, all the rewards, the harvest from this ripple effect that you've contributed to generate. What opportunities, what possibilities are possibly opening up for you as a result of this positive chain of connections. Maybe people around you are making decisions and taking actions that benefit you and your loved ones. And maybe some opportunities that seem totally random seem to open up for you. Just imagine what they could be. And yes, they might look random and out of the blue and totally unexpected. But like somewhere down the line, there's also a response from the flow of positive energy that you are creating. So allow your imagination to be creative and just imagine, what does your week look like, sounds like, feels like when you're welcoming all of these possibilities, opportunities, synchronicities into your life? So keep imagining all the good that is coming back your way and what you're doing with it, how it perpetuates this lovely flow of positivity. Some doors open for you, which means you also create opportunities for others, which open doors for more people. Just get a sense of what that could look like. When you and everybody else benefits. And now we're gonna slowly wrap up this part of fun imagination. And to do that, we're gonna set an intention. Yeah, keep your eyes closed. We're not done yet. So just notice that we had fun imagining best possible scenarios for the week. But we can only imagine what we're capable of imagining just now based on all of our life experiences. But there is a lot more possibilities out there that we can't even think of right now. So let's set an intention that when opportunities show up in our life that are widely different from what we're used to or very unfamiliar to us, looking very different from what we are able to imagine right now, let's set that intention that we will recognize them for what they are and still welcome them into our experience. So let's just set that for ourselves. Whenever an opportunity will present itself that looks so different from what you imagined so far, from what you know, you'll still receive it and welcome it into your life so that you're detaching from knowing what the opportunities will look like. So you're able to imagine the direction, but then you're giving freedom to how this might come up into your life, and it might look very different from what you know and a lot better from what you already know. So once we've done that, Now, let's just notice how we're feeling. We've just spent a moment bathing ourselves in the best possible outcomes and scenarios for the week. How does it feel? And here, remember, your mind doesn't really know the difference between what's real or imagined. So right now, for our body, it may as well all be real. And how does it feel? Maybe it's a very familiar feeling that you can name, or maybe it's just like sensations that you're feeling inside yourself. Maybe you're not quite sure what it is, but definitely the sensations are there. And in any case, we are now going to build up on these sensations and make them stronger. So now I'm going to invite you to imagine as if these sensations, these feelings, these emotions are flowing in and out through your heart with each breath, a little bit like at the start of this meditation. Except now it's not just your breath flowing in and out through your heart, it's your breath and these sensations, these emotions, so that every time you breathe in, you can feel these feelings more and more strongly inside yourself. And every time you breathe out, it seems like you're radiating out these feelings, this sensation, with more and more power outside into the space in front of you and around you. So, like you're playing with a bubble of sensations and feelings. On your in breath, it flows into yourself through the heart. And when you breathe out, they flow and radiate out from your heart into the room, into the space around you, and especially especially right in front of you, as if it's like a torch. When you breathe in, you feel the warmth inside of you, and when you breathe out, you see the light spreading out in front of you. Let's do this for a minute. Breathe in. Slowly breathe out. Radiate out those sensations. And notice that with each cycle of breath, those sensations seem to become stronger and stronger. You feel them more and more inside of yourself. And they're brighter and brighter as you radiate them into the space in front of you. They become stronger and stronger with each cycle of breath. They're becoming so strong that it's nearly as if you're overflowing with them. Your heart is full to the brim, radiating them out into the space in front of you. And it's becoming so strong that it's now like a proper laser beam. It's so strong that you're radiating out this laser beam in front of you. And now with your imagination. Again, I'm going to invite you to imagine that this laser beam is literally carving out a portal right in front of you, like in your favorite sci-fi movie. Imagine this laser beam shooting out from your heart that is creating, carving out of thin air a big pathway, a big doorway, a portal right in front of you. And you know that on the other side of this portal is a new version of the week that is starting today. On the other side of this portal is a new version of reality with all the possibilities that you've imagined and beyond. So we're going to prepare ourselves to step through the portal. So in your mind's eyes, just imagine taking a few steps towards the portal, taking one step in, one foot through the portal and the other foot through the portal. And this is it. You are now on the other side. And as you've stepped through, you're just noticing that the portal has dissolved behind you, and with it, all connections to your past timeline, the old version of reality is gone. You've got no choice but to step into this new version of reality, this new realm. So just enjoy, take a moment to take a few deep breaths and really connecting with this new version of life, this new version of reality. As you breathe in deeply, it's as if you're feeling the buzz or a tingling from all of these new possibilities connecting with you. And when you breathe out, maybe just breathe out gratitude from knowing that this is all happening, this is real, this is done. Okay, wonderful. So now just notice how you're feeling again. How expanded possibly. Notice these sensations, like how you're connecting with these new possibilities. And we want now to make sure that we will remember this state that we're in right now, this state of connection with this new reality. We want to stay in it for the whole week until we do this meditation again next Monday. And to do that, we're going to really anchor it into ourselves. We're going to use an anchor, which is a physical gesture that you'll be able to repeat at any time during the week when you need it, to remind yourself of which version of reality you're in. So to do that, for this anchor, just follow this guidance. So bring your thumb and index finger together on your right hand, just like this. Yeah. And press your finger together and bring all of your attention noticing the pressure between your fingers. Just notice the point of pressure between your two fingers. Perfect. And now Do the same with the other hand. Thumb and index finger together. Press your fingers together and notice the sensations of pressure between your fingers. And now do it simultaneously, both hands at the same time. And this time, focus on finding the point of perfect same pressure on the right and the left. As you're pressing your fingers on both sides, look for a point of perfect equilibrium on both sides. Perfect same pressure. And as you do this, keep your focus on both fingers at the same time. As you do this, your mind is 100% present. So 100% present on finding that point of pressure. And as it's 100% present in the present moment, it has no choice but to release any grip from the past. It has no choice but to unlearn everything that doesn't serve you up until now. It has no choice but to disconnect from past timeline that is not aligned with your goals. As you keep focusing on finding this point of pressure, your mind has no choice but to accept 100% that it is now in this new version of reality, to now accept all of these new possibilities into your experience. Your mind is fully open, fully accepting, fully on board with this new version of reality for you. So you can release your anchor, and now for a moment just play with using it again, bringing your thumbs and index fingers together again, finding that point of pressure, similar pressure on both hands. And as soon as you find a point, your mind gets present again and you're back. You're instantly back into this version of reality. So at any moment during the week, if you need it, all you need to do to remind yourself will be to use your fingers, press them together on both sides. And as you're looking for that point of equilibrium, your mind will instantly bring yourself back on track. It's like it's a reminder of where you are, which reality you're in, which timeline you've chosen. Okay. So now this is the end. So we are gonna slowly but gently bring ourselves back. So you can rub your hands together until they're warm. Place them at the top of your head. And we're gonna touch every part of our body, starting from the head and face, as if we want to remind ourselves of the boundaries of our physical body. Down the neck and shoulders, down the arms, like this, perfect. And then back at the top, and this time the front of the body. And as much as we can, the sides from under the armpits, along the rib cage, down the hips. Then from the back, as much as we can reach down the spine. And then from our hips down our legs, knees, lower leg, up until our feet. If we can touch our feet, is great. But if not, let's press our feet onto the ground. Noticing the point of contact again between our feet and the floor. And just as a way to ground ourselves again into the earth. And thanking the earth for allowing our existence into this plane. And once we've done that, we're complete, ready to enjoy the week. And I shall say, enjoy, have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday for our next session. Bye, everybody.